With her new wings sewn tightly to her back, Lane glided across the cloud-filled sky. The sun was setting, but she couldn't really see it anyway through the dark clouds that filled the once blue sky. Lane had always dreamed about flying through this beautiful sky, and now her dream had come true. Sure, her parents were gone, and sure, not everyone still believed that she could. But that didn't really matter. Her parents were not of any significant importance to her, and the people who didn't believe her would help her create her army. So, in the end, everyone would help her. All the ones who deserved to fly would be free to spread their wings, but all who did not would finally see the light and help those who do. Lane flew across the sky, keeping an eye out for a specific person. She had seen them many times before, but did not know their name. That didn't really matter. They had believed her, and for that, they deserved wings. Eventually, Lane spotted them, probably still on their way back from school. She swooped down to meet them. Their eyes grew. They looked terrified. Lane really wasn't sure why. What's to fear about flight? As long as you can fly, you won't fall. Lane approached the young lady. She had reddish-brown hair and freckles all across her face. She was very pretty. Her eyes were greenish blue. Lane stepped right next to the girl and whispered something in her ear. "Do you want to fly?" she asked her. The girl stood there for a moment before turning towards Lane and nodding. Lane stretched out a hand to the girl. She spread her wings and flew up into the sky. The girl, not far below her, gripping tightly to her hand, fearing for her life. If Lane had dropped her, that would be the end of it. Finally, they landed on a roof, and Lane turned towards the girl once more. "Is there anyone who ever doubted that you could do something? Anyone who ever put you down because of what you are?" she asked. The girl sounded nervous when she answered. "Yes, of course they have. Plenty of people," she said. Lane gave the girl a cold, heartless smile, but to the girl, it seemed welcoming. "Well, let's go show them that they're wrong," Lane said optimistically. Where are they? Lane asked the girl. The girl replied that she did not know their current whereabouts, but they did attend their school, and that their mum was one of the teachers. Lane asked her which teacher, and the answer that followed surprised Lane. It was her teacher, her first teacher, the one who had told her that she could be a pilot, that she could fly a machine, but had never believed that she could have wings. Lane was angry with this teacher, but the girl was angry with her child, and Lane wanted the girl to be happy and to get wings from the person she hated so much. So she contained her anger, took hold of the girl's hand, and they flew over to the school in hopes that the teacher and her child would still be there. On the way, they gathered many more kids, boys and girls who have always dreamed of things that people have told them that never could be. People had doubted them. People had called them liars. People had teased them for what they believed, for what they wanted, for what they needed. All the children came, all the ones who had been hurt by the untrue words, those doubtful, horrible words spoken by those who don't deserve wings. They all gathered. They gathered to join Lane. And along the way, she had asked them, "Who is it? Who doubted you? And where are they now?" Many told Lane that a person was dead or had moved away. Lane didn't care. As long as she could make wings, she didn't care where they were, how they were, who they were. She didn't care. These poor people, they deserved to fly, even if it really wasn't their dream. Who wouldn't want to fly? There's no need to fear heights if you can't fall. And flying feels so free. She wanted to grant them freedom, to let them break away from all this hatred, break away from their old lives, and join a new one. She wanted them to have a second chance in this world. This hateful world. With every killing, the boys and girls stood in horror. Lane wasn't sure why. They were getting their wish. But after they had their wings, they seemed so very excited for this new chance. This new chance to be as free as the birds are. Eventually, Lane and the others had tracked down the teacher and her child. They decided that they would give a warning from now on. A certain knock, or the ringing of a bell, the ruffling of feathers. Something like that. They hadn't really decided yet. They tried out a few things, but one Lane liked most. A certain knock, followed by a few other things. The knock was simple. 2 knocks that were quick, and one that was slow but hard. Followed by the stirring of objects, anything that was around the room. Something would move, something would fall, something would happen. Something so small, most people would just say it was the wind or gravity. But it was not. Lane and a few of these people approached the teacher and her child, each with a warning of a knock and an object moving. Neither of them noticed. Of course they didn't. Stupid humans. They would never understand. When Lane finally saw the teacher's child, she realized something. She had seen them before. It was a little boy with black hair, the same little boy who had waved to her the first day she came. He didn't seem like he would doubt someone, but she didn't ever wish to consider what these people said to be a lie. They started with the teacher first, and by the end of what they had done, their clothes were covered in blood, and some of their skin had cut marks in it from the teacher's self-defense or them missing when they used a knife. Lane looked around for the boy and spotted him. He had one of those emergency, hammer things that you use to break the glass around the fire extinguisher. I'm not really sure what they're called. They never really taught us that in school. He used it to break the window, and when Lane saw him, the last thing she saw were his black shoes leaping from the window with shattered glass and specks of blood. She wasn't sure if he was dead. If it was suicide, she didn't understand. If it wasn't, she couldn't see how he could run away after he dare say something so very awful. He deserved this. But Lane decided that this time she would let him go. They tried their best to clear up the evidence so that no one would suspect that it was them. Most of them attended that school anyway, so if there were fingerprints around this, it's not as if they would suspect. Lane gathered her army together, and they flew off, trying to look for a space to call their home, a new land, something of the sort. They flew for minutes, for hours, for days, and eventually they saw something. A little abandoned patch of land, maybe even a city. They knew it was abandoned. No one would ever let something get in such terrible condition. And it was in the middle of nowhere, so no one would find them. When they finally landed and got settled into their new sort of kingdom, I guess you could say, Elaine announced something to her people. She said, "This is not all you must do for me. We must become birds. And I'm sorry, but birds don't talk. They only tweet. In fact, they don't even have lips. And that is why you should sew your lips shut." The people looked very confused, and so she repeated herself. "Birds don't have lips. Sew them shut." The people were fearful for their lives, and so they did as she told them to. One little boy, maybe he was 5, ran up to Lane and asked her, "I know that birds don't smile, but I want to smile. I want to be smiling forever. We already have to sew our lips closed, so can mine be a smile?" Lane formed her lips into a smile and looked at the boy. "Of course, I can help you too." And she did. The boy seemed satisfied after it was done, and Lane was happy that she had made his wish come true. She still worried that the boy with black hair was out there somewhere, and that he would try to stop them, but she couldn't let it concern her now. She had followers. She had a kingdom now. A kingdom of people who would do what she said. She was their queen. Queen of the birds. And with her title, she would destroy all the people who never believed them. All the people that said that they couldn't do it. All the people that told them that people can't fly, that people can't do this, that no one is able to do this, or that they're merely not right for that job. She would destroy them piece by piece and make everyone's dream come true. Little by little, the people who deserved to die would die, and the people who deserved a new chance would get one. It should have always been this way. And now, it finally was. This new world was beginning, and no one could stop it.